It's AJ, my brother from another mother, and we're going to get into not just fitness and health for the purpose of, suns out, guns out, but how do you dial in your health so that you can show up in the areas of life that matter most to you. We'll pivot back into business and talk about, I did everything wrong with my physical health when I was like growing up in the real estate business. But we figured out some things. We were chatting right before we hit the live here. And I guess I'll just speak for myself. I've lost easily over 200 pounds, easily, maybe close to 250 pounds. And then people will be like, oh gosh, like that's amazing. Literally the same 25 pounds. So my thing I'm just figuring out in this journey, and AJ, I'm going to ask your overall sort of like, generally speaking, what you've learned. What I've learned is that the grand gestures don't work. I can push hard for 90 days and I can burn like 30 pounds and get down to my skinny weight and fit in my skinny clothes. And then I take the other, 270 days of the year, to gain it all back, which is, totally undermining true health. But I figured some things out. AJ's figured some things out. We both still struggle. We're going to bring that to you. So AJ, just to start us off, like talk about health. How does it fit into your journey in business and, and being a father and a husband, and kind of how do you view health in your overall life?
Yeah, man, I'm excited for today's topic. It's like you, I've lost the same pounds several times over the year, and man, it's an interesting journey. I've definitely learned what works for me and what doesn't. But looking back now, 10 plus years in the real estate industry, and before that being an entrepreneur, being in good shape is crucial to your success, not only from just how you feel and how you show up to your work, but also like the perception of yourself to clients. I think when you're in great shape, people look at you different. They can see you taking your physical body serious. So that shows that you're going to take your career, your job more serious. And it's more maybe probably even subconscious than a conscious thought that they have. But I mean, if you're thinking about, if you had someone that was pretty overweight coming to your house to, apply for the job to sell your home, or to, do some, I don't know, window replacement, or maybe that's a bad example, but some kind of profession that you're looking to hire, a doctor, you go in and they're overweight. It discredits their professionalism. I was just listening to a Joe Rogan podcast yesterday, and he was interviewing this guy that's really big on, vaccines for the most part. And this guy's overweight, talking about how he doesn't eat healthy, doesn't take vitamins. And right away, it discredited his entire argument that he was trying to make on Joe's podcast. So for me, it's been a non-essential. However, sometimes, or it's been essential for me to stay in shape. However, sometimes it definitely maybe didn't always show up that way. But right now I'm in great shape, looking to lose some more fat. But I've been on a good journey for like the last 8 months now, like extreme consistency.
Yeah. It's a good point, and it's a little, especially in like just the overall cancel culture, to even bring up. I feel the same way. Like this was early on in my journey where I was, I chose the building route and leverage and building a real estate team. And there was this guy in the same coaching program as me, and he just did not tend to his physical body, like by hundreds of pounds. And I don't feel good saying this, and maybe this is more a me kind of bearing something that's not great about me, but I couldn't take business advice from him. In the back of my mind, I would think to myself, like, look what he's sacrificing to be able to put more effort into his real estate business, right? So I want to align myself with and do life with folks that are like, let me draw blood. Let me talk to your wife. Let me, look at your bank accounts. Let me, give me your Bible and let's see if it's been opened ever, and so you have to get to a point where, it can't be one dimensional. Same thing goes with like a gym rat that is like totally like buff and dialed in, but the guy has no money. spend
Right.
4 hours, a day. So
Totally.
it goes both ways, but I feel you on that, it's outside of my faith, the foundation, and I just turned 50. So this is even more. I mean, AJ's like, what did you just turn 29? What are you?
I'll be 37 in a couple months.
37. Oh my Lord, you're getting old. Man, when you hit 40, that's when like we're even
Over
in
the
the same.
hill.
Yeah, over the hill. But now that I've hit 50, like I have a really good friend of mine who's 58 or 59. He just retired. Really successful guy. I know all of those things about him. I know his wife. I know his kids. I know his net worth and his cash flows. And so he's doing all the things. He spends time every day with his creator, and I really respect him. But he, seeing like him, and he's in really good physical shape. He left me a message as you did for my 50th, and he said, the the effort you put now at age 50, into your physical body, like the next 5 years is going to set you up for the next 25 years. Right. So my goal at age 55 and even age 60 is to be in better shape every year until I'm 60, so that I can crush those next 10 or 20, not crush, grind sort of work type situation, but just be healthy and be able to enjoy life and adventures and, do fun things and be able to control those freaking snowmobiles in Jackson.
Yeah, exactly.
That we did earlier this year, when we're 60 and you'll still be like 46. I guess you'll always be, 13 years younger than me. But
Yeah.
so let's get in. Let's start with mindset. So you and I are a little bit similar in that we kind of go through these, I'll just give you the numbers for me. I've been as much as recently 218. I don't carry a lot of muscle. I should be low 180s with the amount of muscle that I carry. So what is that? 18 and 18. So about 30 to 35 pounds overweight, right? That's my like, oh man, I feel really fat. I'm not wanting to buy new clothes, right? So, and then I push down. And I've done that many, many times. So there's some mindset issues around that. And you may have a similar story, but let's unpack the mindset. Why do you think, and maybe as it relates to busy real estate agents, why do people struggle with their physical bodies? Let's crack the James Clear. I'm a mega fan of the book Atomic Habits. So many good quotes that could relate to this, but I think it comes down to, 80% of success in anything is about your mindset or your psychology. And, when it comes to health, everybody knows how to be healthy, but very, very few people do it. So unpack a little bit, what you've learned about the mindset of tending to your physical body. And it probably goes to real estate production. It goes to all of the things, but talk about mindset a little bit.
Yeah, the first two thoughts that come to mind, and I'm like you, my most recent highest weight was 239, actually leaving the Jackson Hole trip because the food that we were being served at that remote cabin was off the charts delicious, all you can eat basically. And I'm 227 today, and that was just a few months ago. I saw a big fluctuation. I think the biggest thing is like, what is your thermostat? If you read the book Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, great book, T. Harv Eker, talks about the financial thermostat. So this can apply to your business or your weight. Like, where are you comfortable? Like when I get north of 230, like my furnace kicks on. Like it's too cold in here, so the furnace kicks on. That's where I'm very uncomfortable above 230. But when I get down to 215, 220, I start feeling comfortable again. And it's like anything below that, I'm getting like out of my comfort zone in a positive way, getting in great shape. But because my thermostat isn't reset to cause me to go below really 215, I usually plateau right there when my goal weight's really 200. It's like with sales. If you're used to making $50,000 a year and then you get into real estate and now you're making 80, there's a good chance that your financial thermostat is going to say, hey, you don't need to work any harder. You can coast now. And then your income is going to fall back to the level of where you're comfortable. So the mindset always needs to be, how do I raise that financial thermostat or that health thermostat? And what I've discovered both in business and health, the way you do that is by getting around the right people, getting accountability, maybe through a paid coach or just a group, So with business, my financial thermostat I discovered as a real estate agent early on was like mid six figures. And then it took some work to push it up to $200,000 a year. And now, to be quite honest, if I was making less than $1 million a year, I would feel very uncomfortable because that's below the temperature that I'm comfortable at. And who knows, maybe if I can get to $5 million a year, which would be awesome, maybe I'll just coast because that's that new number for me. But to be honest, right where I am right now is kind of that coast financially for me. And it's a decision I made. But with health, it's the same thing. So now I have a fitness coach, somebody that I meet with on a weekly basis to track my macros. And me and Lars are both on this macro plan right now, which we can talk about in a little more detail. Maybe it can help you. And then also getting yourself around with people who are also on that same journey. And I find it's hard to find people who are in really great shape who will challenge you in those areas, because most people are just busy with their families, busy with their work. And the easiest and thing that's quite frankly the fastest to let go is your health. It ends up being the lowest priority, even though it should be the highest, because it drives your business. It gives you the energy to invest back in your family and relationships.